I'm Dr. Anthony Levantino. I'm a board certified obstetrician. I've been a board certified obstetrician now for, oh my God, for, about 44 years, 43 or 44 years now. And originally practiced in upstate New York, where I performed over 1,200 first and second trimester abortions. Subsequently, years later, moved in 2002, moved to southern New Mexico in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where I practiced for an additional 16 years. And also have been on the faculty of a medical college in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And currently I'm retired in central Arizona.
Awesome. So we have you attending two events for us next month. On August the 26th, we are launching our Ignite Truth Leaders for Life youth group, and that will be at Turning Point USA here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Why is it important that youth would come out and listen to someone like you and your presentation, and how do you feel you can equip them with the knowledge and background you have that would give them confidence in tackling this issue with their peers and those beyond that?
Obviously, abortion has been a huge social, legal, medical topic for a very long time now, starting even before the Supreme Court ruling of Roe versus Wade in 1973. And I've been involved in the abortion industry. I was involved in the abortion industry after I graduated from medical school in 1976. And as I tell people, and as I will tell them, I mean, if you asked me at the time how I felt about the abortion issue, I would not have hesitated at all to tell you that I was pro-choice. This was a decision between a woman, her doctor, and no one else, including the baby's father, had anything to say about it. Abortion has changed a lot over the years. And today, many states are facing, and I believe Nevada is one of them, is facing the most popular thing these days seems to be these citizen initiatives that get part of that are passed or that are put forward at the time of elections, whether they're the presidential elections or the inter-years between them every 2 years, like the election coming up in 2026. Often having the population directly asking the question about whether they want to pass a constitutional amendment to their state constitutions regarding abortion. When Roe versus Wade was in effect from 1973 until 2022, there was state initiatives and state rules regarding abortion simply were not active or legally enforceable because of Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade established that states had no say with the abortion issue. It was a complicated structure to Roe versus Wade. We'll go through that in the presentations. Many people understand, if you ask most people, name a Supreme Court decision, 99% of people will come up with Roe versus Wade. I suppose a handful might come up with Brown v. Board of Education. And we'll go into, most people can name, if they name a Supreme Court decision, will name Roe versus Wade. But in my experience, most people don't really understand exactly what it said. Once the Dobbs decision came down in 2022 from the Supreme Court overruling Roe v. Wade, states were once again free to pass their own laws regarding how abortion would be handled in their states. So there are a multiplicity of rules now. Many states have outlawed abortion entirely. Others have pretty much legalized abortion with no restrictions whatsoever. And many times, in my experience, because this happened in Arizona, my home state now, just 2 years ago, Arizona had a constitutional amendment for its state constitution on a ballot 2 years ago. And many people voted in favor of that constitutional amendment, not realizing exactly what was being stated in the Constitution. So my goal, my mission here is to educate the people that come to these presentations about abortion. What is it? What are the different medical procedures? And especially with an emphasis on chemical abortion, because that's the big deal now. 70% abortion, as I said, when I was doing abortions, the only methods of abortion were available were basically surgical abortions. Other methods came to the fore as time went by. We'll talk about those. But chemical abortion is now the big one, in that 70% of all abortions are now being done with pills. And that has tremendous ramifications. That and other rules that have come up have tremendous consequences for states, depending on what their state rules are. And in fact, the abortion industry has worked very hard to be able to circumvent many of those state rules. And we'll talk about exactly how that's done.
Yeah, I was actually at a conference 2 weeks ago, and they were saying that they believe it's upwards of over 80, if not 90% of abortions now are being done by pill. Nobody really
figure
has.
I've heard is about 70%, but the fact is, you're right.
Yeah.
The numbers are very high.
I think on paper that's the number a lot of people, but they were just saying we think it's actually a lot higher than what's being estimated or reported. And you're very uniquely qualified to weigh into this on two different levels. And when I talked to you on the phone a while back, you were telling me that after you quit doing abortions, you went and pursued another degree.
Well, after I got my medical degree in 1976, I got a law degree in 1993.
Yeah. So we're talking about this, and one of the primary reasons that we're bringing you out here is to help educate and equip people here in Las Vegas, because Las Vegas does, like you said, have question 6 on our ballot in November. This will be the second time for the citizens of Nevada to vote on this measure. It passed with 64% on the first ballot in November of 2024. And if this initiative passes, it amends our state constitution that will allow for abortions to be performed. Right now, you are required to be a licensed physician. It will change it to a healthcare professional, which opens Pandora's box to a whole lot of people. You will not have to notify parents of minors any longer. If the baby is born alive during abortion, they can withhold the medical care from that baby. There's just a lot of different things that can take place within this thing that we want to educate people on. And the best way to fight darkness is with light and truth. And so we want to bring him up here this next month. And this gives you just a little sneak peek and glimpse of who he is, his background, and what you're in for experiencing at this presentation. Is there anything else you'd like to share with anybody that might be thinking about coming to this event? Or how about for the people that feel that they're pro-life, but don't necessarily know a whole lot beyond being pro-life? Why would it be important for them to come and listen to someone like you when they're already pro-life?
It's there are a couple of reasons for that. And I would hope that people that are pro-choice would come to the presentations, ask questions, understand. You can vote for anything you wish, but understand at least what it is you're voting for and understand the implications. And as I tell, and I do a lecture about abortion for my medical students. And I understand in front of a group like that there are people there that are pro-life and there are people there that are pro-choice. And it's important that no matter where someone is on this issue, as I tell my medical students, if you are pro-choice, I understand how you feel. I was very pro-choice, and I performed abortions for a number of years. As I said, over 1,200 first and second trimester abortions. I understand how you feel. If you're pro-life, I understand how you feel. And it's a real opportunity to ask questions that you might not be able to answer or ask or even get straight answers to in another setting. So I would urge everyone, whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, to attend. It's that kind of discussion, I think, that really helps people understand the issues, and if nothing else, makes them an informed voter as opposed to, oh yeah, I think this is just a great idea and boom, which is what happens. I know what happened in Arizona, and I don't know if it was the same in Nevada, but I would be willing to bet $1,000 against a donut, and I'm sure I would win. That the ads that you were seeing on television in Nevada probably were like the ones we saw in Arizona. We weren't talking about the normal situations in abortions. What you saw in the ads were emergency rooms and ICUs and pictures of hospital beds with monitors beeping in the background. This is not what abortion is about. And I think that no matter how you vote in any situation, your community and your country are far better off if you're an informed voter as opposed to simply voting on emotion or based on situations that in real life don't happen very often.
Yeah, because a lot of people that I've even talked to in the past 2 years since that passed, including pastors, people don't realize that our laws here in Nevada already allow for abortion up to 6 months. And so they don't realize that by doing what they did, it's extending it to birth. And a lot of people are not, as polls show, are not in favor of abortion in the third trimester in general. But that wasn't something that was clearly spelled out at the ballot box. It's very vague, and they do that intentionally to deceive people and to fearmonger them. We had similar commercials to what you're saying. A lot of young girls, teenagers that were going to be deprived and have health issues because they were going to have things withheld from them. So, yeah, I would agree with you. And so if there is anybody that is pro-choice, we welcome you. We just want people to be respectful of each other, to dialogue respectfully. If people truly believe what they believe, they shouldn't be afraid to have respectful conversations with opposing sides. So I think that is enough information, Dr. Levantino, to tell people they should come be a part of one of these events with you. Thank you for being willing to spend a little bit of time to give them a little bit of sneak peek and insight to what we'll be doing here with you in Las Vegas next month. And we look forward to seeing how God is going to use your story and your testimony here in Nevada to help equip people on this subject and hopefully produce warriors that will go out there and defend life at the ballot box.
Well, thank you. I'm very much looking forward to coming to Las Vegas and addressing these groups and hopefully doing some good.